My name is Zransky, and welcome back to... While it might be challenging to see in the moment, time is always in motion. We can be stuck in our own bubble, but even so, the world is constantly moving. For a few years, I would routinely drive past an abandoned church and would always find my eyes drifting towards it. I had wanted to explore it for some time, but one night I saw an excavator parked beside it. And this is where I learned one of the most important lessons about abandoned buildings. They're not permanent. Today I will be covering the remains of a rundown church in rural Indiana. A church living on borrowed time. Indiana is no stranger to abandoned churches, but this one is different. Digging into the building, I found that the history is nearly non-existent. But after further research, I dug up a little more information on this building. With the help of Google Maps and a little inductive reasoning, I learned something fascinating about this church. This building wasn't like other churches, because it was someone's home. With the aid of Google Maps, we can dive deeper into the building. The furthest view we can see on the building dates back to October 2008. Looking at the image, we can see a few trucks, fences surrounding the building, and a thick layer of trees obscuring it. In addition, what appears to be the former bell tower seems to have been destroyed. A notable aspect of the property was the two trailers, where presumably the former owner used to live. Although if the owner did reside in the trailers, it raises the question what the main structure was used for. Today the trailers are gone, but bits of evidence of their existence still remains. While in 2008 the building appeared to be occupied, that changed from 2008 to 2015 as the windows in the entrance are seen boarded up. Using the information we found, we can point a rough estimate of this somewhere after January 2012. Which leads us to the GIS information. The furthest the GIS points back to is July 7th, 1987, when the property was transferred from Delbert L. King to Lee Edwards Clements. This building was under Clements' ownership until his passing on January 8th, 2012. The property was then transferred to his sister Alice Clements, who lived in Illinois. The final bit of information ends with a quitclaim deed, leading to the property's final owner, Andrew J. Rice. The excavator outside is unsurprising when looking at the building's condition. Our eyes were constantly glued to the ground to make sure we didn't step on anything. Besides the basement and a small window, everything else was boarded up. Poking my camera through this broken window, we were able to see the interior was filled with a wide assortment of items. In addition, a portion of the second floor and the roof has caved in, covering the interior with debris. This unwelcome skylight provides perfect access for rain and snow to enter the building. As mentioned before, there is a basement, but we decided not to enter it due to the structural instability of the building. Though poking the camera inside, we can see that it is full of a wide assortment of items. Towards the front of the building, we can discover a little more information on it. A small carving in the brick reads, Union Church 1881, meaning we most likely can date the construction back to around 1881 or sooner. That was the last time we saw the 1881 Union Church still standing. I was driving past the church on my way to town when I felt a nervous yet excited feeling. Usually during my drive I can see the church from about half a mile away, but this time I couldn't. Pulling in closer, I realized it was gone. Left behind were massive piles of brick and debris. Looking at the debris, my guess it was from the interior of the building. Furthermore, the basement has collapsed in on itself, now filled with bricks and rubble. My prediction is after they clean up the site, there will be next to no evidence this building existed. And this is why we wake up at 6 in the morning to explore these buildings, because we don't know how much time they have left. And no matter how much we want them to stay, sadly everything has to come to a conclusion. This is why I made this series, because one day buildings like this will disappear, and if nobody documents their history, their legacies will fade. This building may not be as historical as the Colosseum or the Aztec ruins, but it's a part of Delbert King, Lee Clements, Alice Clements, Andrew Rice, and so many more people that were involved in this building. And we'll be there to tell their stories, because we're not afraid to stand where we once stood before. Thank you all for watching, and good night.